again, everybody. Welcome back. I thought I would share with you a little bit more about my bullet journal journey and my style of bullet journaling and how it's evolved. I've been bullet journaling in some form since 2016. So that's what, 5 years? Gotta do the math. Yeah. So I thought I would show you a little bit about the different things I have done in my bullet journals. I've shown you guys a few things, and I think I showed you guys to begin with these Leuchtturm, and I thought I'd start there and just kind of show the evolution, how I went from this to these, and then ultimately to my beloved Hobonichi Weeks that I am bullet journaling in now. So let's get started, shall we? So the first thing, just to show you here, this is the very first bullet journal I ever did in 2016. And I was really just kind of feeling my way through here, trying to learn what I liked, what I didn't like. And what you can see here is I was trying to do very much the Writer Carol version of everything in one book, all work, personal, everything. I decorated a little bit with stickers, just trying to play around a little bit with that. But you can see I had my daily appointments and things here, and then I have my list of things to do, and then the rest of the page was just notes. So that was kind of the format that I followed back in 2016. I would also include, you know, like some things that were big events in the world, some pictures, that kind of stuff. So that's what it looked like pretty much in 2016. I would draw in a monthly calendar, menu plans. I think I've shown you guys some of this in another video. This was the weekly view that I settled on that works best for me. And pretty much from that point on, in this book anyway, I followed this same format. So tended to be calendar stuff, personal things, and then work stuff. There's a lot of work related type of notes in this particular book. Another thing that I do in all of my bullet journals, and I learned this in a class that I took years and years ago, was I like to highlight things as I finish them. And they used a blue highlighter. I don't remember the logic behind it, but I've kept doing that with the blue highlighter. So as I would finish stuff, I highlighted in blue. The other thing that I started doing is I highlight in my notes in orange. You'll see this consistently, especially in my work bullet journal, that I highlight in orange whenever I'm like in a meeting or something and there's something I need to do. I use an asterisk and I highlight it in orange just to make it jump out at me, so that I don't lose track of things that I need to do. So I'm looking back at these pages and they're, you know, they look chaotic, but they were literally train of thought as the day evolved. You know, I was writing things down in here. So here's Wednesday, Thursday. Have I mentioned that I'm not an artist? I mean, you can see my headers were pretty pathetic, but I didn't care. It was just about getting stuff done. And I used the heck out of this bullet journal for work and personal, you can see. So then the next one, this just shows kind of an evolution. So this was the next year, 2017. One of the things that I started doing is I picked a color for every month. And the color of the month would be what I would use to delineate the day. So that way I only had to carry one highlighter with me. Still using my highlighter orange to denote things that were to-dos from meetings that I needed to. You can see that here, but you can see I went, well, maybe in this one I was weekly because this is 1 week and that's another week. So that's probably what I was doing there. But I have since evolved this to be one color per month. So just a little bit more of an idea of, you know, how I was using the bullet journal. March is always green for some reason to me. I guess St. Patrick's Day, growing up in Savannah. And then moving from there, here's some of the other bullet journals. This is, you probably recognize, a Stalogy. This is a B6 Stalogy. This was the first one that I ever used and actually really, really loved. You can see it got very chunky, lots of tabs. I just made this my home for the second half of 2019 and loved it. And the thing that I really liked was I didn't need a cover unless I wanted to. I had covers that I used, but it was also very easy for me to just throw this in my purse. I taped a pen loop in the back so that I could carry it wherever I wanted to go. I used pockets in here to hold notes and things like that, put stickers, all that kind of stuff. So really quick, just to kind of walk you through, this is not the traditional bullet journal setup. This is more of like, I made a planner in a notebook kind of thing. So here's my year at a glance that I printed out off the internet. I just found ones to print. This was a class I was taking. This was volunteering that I was doing at my church, so I needed the schedule, my kids' schedule, my children's school class schedules, so I could tell where they were at any one time of day if I was making a doctor's appointment or something like that. And I put a tab here just to make it easy for me to find. And then I started out drawing these in, quickly decided I didn't like that. So these are DIY fish inserts that I printed and glued in. I love her inserts. I love the grid. I love the layout. So that's what I did. This one I think was a personal size. Then I bought the B6 size so that it would take up more real estate. And then I just glued those in. Really like that. Again, as I flip through this, just like I did in the Franklin Covey, it makes me want to use this again. This was for forward planning. And then I just would have a tab for the month and some kind of divider page, and then I would jump right into the month. So I tried gratitude. I've never been really good at this. I always forget. I like to have at the beginning of the month my to-do list for the month. That I really like as I think of things like this is where I want to focus for the month. So that's what that was. This, you should recognize this layout. It's very similar to what I've had in other bullet journals where I've got the week here, my list of things to do, and my trackers. I just tried to fit it all in one page instead of two. And then I would just go right into a single page per day, no format or design. Most of the time you'll see a couple of pages in here where I tried doing a timeline. But the beauty of the notebook like the Stalogy is you can make it whatever you want, and that's the beauty of the bullet journal. So, you know, very much just train of thought. Again, here's the next week, 1 page per day. I didn't do this ahead. I would just draw out the week on Saturday afternoon for the following week. The only thing I used for forward planning in the Stalogy was my monthly pages. I liked this because I had lots of room for notes. There's a shopping list that I taped in here. Here's where I was trying to use a little bit less room. Didn't like that very much. I got a little creative here and put some vellum in, used it kind of like a dashboard. That didn't last, that particular format. This was August, and so what I tried to do here was incorporate a monthly tracker. There's my task list, and I just taped that in. That was a B6 insert page. There's my gratitude. Not a lot of decoration, mostly just straight pen and scribbles. That's pretty much how I like to plan. Again, here's things I needed to pack. I was going to take care of my mom when she had surgery. This was a list of colors for nail polish. Taping things in as I needed. Lots of post-it notes. This one I printed these out on some clear sticker paper and took it with me when I went to my mom's so that I could just tape it down and be done. But still very basic in terms of my work that I did. In here, just lots of notes. This was when I was taking care of my mom, so my notes were very sparse. Here's September. Again, there's the tracker. Gratitude. I loved this little book. I used it a lot, but you can see even, you know, I tried to pick a color a month for my headers. There's a new class schedule. This was when I was traveling for work. This was a place we went to eat, so I grabbed a sticker. Again, a new schedule. October, same kind of thing. So October, the color was, you know, this, I picked this washi. This was some Cocoa Daisy washi, and I just carried that theme through. November, same thing. Trackers, all the way through. Here's our Christmas card taped in when we went to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And yeah, so this I used from July until December of 2019. And then this is where I tried using a standard size traveler's notebook. I like the idea. I love the idea of a standard size traveler's notebook, but I can never stick with it for very long. The multiple notebooks in one drive me crazy because they don't lay flat and stay flat. I think that's one of the things I love about the Hobonichi is it will lay flat. But this was a notebook that I got that had Tomoe River paper in it. And this actually was one of the few times that actually worked for me in terms of doing a bullet journal. So this was March of 2019 when I was just experimenting before I went to this. I tried this. So same weekly layout. It works. If it didn't broke, don't fix it. I'm not changing it. You can see green was the color for the month. So my tab was green. My divider line was a Papermate Flare, and I just, very basic, listed all my things. X meant I didn't do it, an arrow meant it was getting done another day, a check mark meant it got done, the dashes were notes. Here was when I was planning my oldest daughter's graduation, when I was trying to track TV shows, the grocery list. So this was tracking volunteers at church. Here's the next week. And I just stayed with green all the way through, very minimal. This was some notes on a meeting when I was on the homeowners board. So you can see the setup didn't really change a whole lot. And the nice thing about this size is just like the Hobonichi Weeks, it's very portable. So we transitioned into April. I went to a different color. So I have a blue tab and went to one page. And then apparently I quit using it, and then I went to July, end of June. So I just went to the next page like you would do in a bullet journal. Went to the next page, started writing in here. This was July and August. And now I'm back to March. So this must have been, I went to the end of August, and then I didn't use it again until March of probably the next year. Yeah, this was governor says all schools until 3/31 are closed. So this was 2020. This is when the quarantine started. So yeah, I was trying to use this again in 2020. Here's where I was trying a vertical month. Hated it. Didn't like it. April was pink. See, this is another thing you'll see in my Hobonichi that I started doing a lot of, still do. I use the Cocoa Daisy notepad a lot, and then I just tape it in when I'm finished so I have it for reference. So that's pretty much this notebook, but I just wanted to show you what that one looked like. And then my 2020 Stalogy is very similar to the 2019. There's not a whole lot of difference. I set it up exactly the same way. And because of the train wreck that 2020 was, I didn't really use it very much. So I spent a lot of time setting it up in the beginning of the year. One thing I did different here is I printed my calendar pages on Tomoe River paper so it wasn't so thick, which if I were to do this again, I would do the same thing. Because I really like that. You can find the Tomoe River paper on Amazon, the plain paper. You just have to be really careful running it through your printer because it is very finicky. Like, I never print it double-sided because my printer will eat the paper in a heartbeat. So again, pick a color of the month, stuck with that. This particular one, I started trying to do a timeline and my to-dos and my notes. I didn't stick with it very long. It became a little cumbersome to draw that in every day, but I did start out that way. My daughter was working at Dream Dinners, and so we got a lot of freezer meals, so I was trying to track the ones she'd bring home so that I didn't forget to cook things. Aren't these cute? These are Post-it notes that Cocoa Daisy had. So yeah, that's pretty much the format. I started to go a little bit more crazy with stickers at the beginning of the year last year, just trying to use them up. And if you see my Franklin Covey notebook, you're probably or Franklin Covey video, you're probably wondering, wait, you had a Franklin planner at the same time you had a Stalogy? Yeah, so I started the Franklin planner after I started this. And then for a while, I wasn't sure which one I was going to use, so I was keeping both of them current. So that's why there's some overlap. But this one kind of petered out around March, and I didn't really do a whole lot other than, you can see there's a lot of blank pages where I started to set it up, and then I went back and started using something else. So, see, I went to Erin Condren for a little while, for a month of May. Didn't stay very long. And so that is what it looks like in my bullet journaling world. This one I never finished. And then as that's evolved, now bullet journaling looks like this in my Hobonichi Weeks, which I think I've shown you in another video, but I'll just show you here. So my weekly is still, you know, where I plan. Same layout as what I was drawing in my bullet journal, which is why I like this. And my to-dos are here, so that's pretty much the same. And then back here in the notes, I have the Hobonichi Mega, so I have a lot of pages back here to use. And so what I've done is I just use, again, one color per month, and write the date, write my list of things to do, and just kind of train of thought as to what I put in here. So this was, you know, and I'm fitting about a week at a time on one page. So here's January. See, December went from green, January went to blue. Here's January, which was just a hot mess. My stepfather passed away. This is a wedding shower I'm helping to plan. And then here's the first week of February, which this is this week. And I'm using this column as where I'm putting the dates, and then these are my this is a Tombow marker that I decided I was going to use for February. Really like this layout, so I'll probably keep doing this. For some reason, this to me looks neater than this, so I'll probably do this for a little bit longer. But yeah, that is my bullet journal journey. If I can figure out a way to show you the work bullet journal without giving away private confidential work stuff, I'll try to do that. But right now I'm just trying, this was 2016 and 17. I figured it was safe to show you that, but I'm not quite sure how I would show you anything more recent. I'll have to look at that and see. I have a feeling I would be redacting so much that it would probably not be meaningful to you, but if I can figure it out, I will show you. So that is a quick look at bullet journaling Lois style. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for more content on my channel. Take care. Bye, everybody.